I have already mentioned taking responsibility, but I want to get deeper into that subject at this point. And let's first talk about reacting to a loss. What if you put on a trade that loses and your expectations did not take into account any market behavior other than what you want? From this mental perspective, if the market doesn't do what you want, you're going to feel pain, emotional pain. Expectations are our mental representations of how some future moment in the environment is going to look, sound, feel, smell, or taste. Depending upon how much energy is behind the expectation, it can hurt a lot when it isn't fulfilled. We can safely assume that after a loss, a novice trader will be in a state of emotional pain. As a result, his or her trading will take on a whole new quality. He'll definitely lose that carefree state of mind, but more importantly, he'll feel that the market did this to him. The market caused him to feel the pain he's experiencing. The market took away the winning feeling by subjecting him to a loss. The typical trader wants the market to fulfill his expectation, his or her hopes or dreams. Even though most people who trade consider themselves responsible adults, only the best traders, the very best traders, have reached a point where they can and do accept complete responsibility for the outcome of any particular trade. Everyone else, to one degree or another, assumes they are taking responsibility, but the reality is that they want the market to do it for them. Let me pose a question to you. Do you feel responsible for fulfilling some other trader's expectations, some other trader's hopes or dreams or desires? Of course you don't. It sounds absurd to even ask that question. However, if you ever find yourself blaming the market and feeling betrayed, that's essentially what you are doing. You're expecting the collective actions of everyone participating in the market to make the market act in a way that gives you what you want. You have to learn for yourself how to get what you want out of the markets. The first major step in this learning process is taking complete and absolute responsibility. If you perceive the endless stream of opportunities to enter and exit trades without self criticism and regret, then you will be in the best frame of mind to act in your own best interest and learn from your experiences. On the other hand, if what you perceive in market information is painful in some way, then you will naturally try to avoid that pain by either consciously or subconsciously blocking that information from your awareness. In the process of blocking that information, you'll systematically cut yourself off from any number of opportunities to enrich yourself. In other words, you cut yourself off from the opportunity flow. The way to take maximum advantage of a situation where you're being offered unlimited opportunities to do something for yourself is to get into the flow. The market does have a flow. It is often erratic, especially in the shorter time frames, but it does display symmetrical patterns that repeat themselves over and over again. Obviously, it's a contradiction to flow with something you're against. If you want to start sensing the flow of the market, your mind has to be relatively free of fear, anger, regret, betrayal, despair, disappointment, all those things. You won't have a reason to experience these negative emotions when you assume absolute responsibility. One final word of warning about how you might be reacting to loss. You're here because you believe that my coaching will help you in your trading, but don't stay here for the wrong reasons. Consider this scenario. You've been losing money in the markets, or at the very least, you've been inconsistent. Instead of quitting, you are now a member of IFCO because the great feeling you experienced when you had a winning trade is fresh in your mind. That has inspired you with a sense of determination to continue trading. Only now you're going to be smarter about it. You're going to put some effort into it and learn everything you can about the markets. It's perfectly logical to think that if you can win not knowing anything, you'll be able to clean up when you do know something. But there's a big problem here that very few, if any, traders will have any awareness of until long after the damage is done. Learning about the market is fine and doesn't cause a problem in itself. It's the underlying reason for learning about the market that could ultimately prove to be your undoing. The typical response in most people who are attracted to trading and experience a sudden shift from joy to pain or losing is revenge. For traders, the only way to extract that revenge is to conquer the market. And the only way to conquer the market is through market knowledge, or so you think. In other words, the underlying reason for why the losing trader is learning about the market is to overcome the market, to prove something to it and himself, and most importantly, to prevent the market from hurting him or her again. You may not be learning the market simply as a means to give yourself a systematic way of winning, but rather as a way to avoid pain and prove something that has absolutely nothing to do with looking at the market from an objective perspective. You may not realize it, but if you've made the assumption that knowing something about the market can prevent you from experiencing pain or can help satisfy your desire for revenge or to prove something, you have sealed your fate as a loser. This is one lesson I have personally learned the hard way at a substantial cost. I want you to take a moment to read my blog post entitled Revenge Trading, and we'll leave this subject for now.